Okay, great. Here we are.
Here we
Hi,
are.
everyone. Thanks again for joining us. Hopefully, you can all hear me. I believe you can. If there's a lot of background noise, I might just mute everyone. I think you have the ability to do that yourself. There's also a chat box, but feel free to unmute yourself at any time and ask questions. This is going to be informal, and we're going to just share a bunch of information for your VISTA coming on to help prepare you for your VISTA coming on next week or next month. So before we get started here, I'm going to introduce ourselves. My name's Erin. I'm the program manager for the VISTA program with Montana Campus Compact.
And I'm Alyssa. I am the program specialist for MTCC.
Great. So hopefully everyone can see this slideshow. Please chime in if you cannot. And we'd love to hear from the folks who are on the call with us. So, and we have on the slide, if people can see the slides, all the locations where our VISTAs will be serving. So we have a January class that started January 2017, and they'll be serving through January 2018. And then all of your sites are July or August of this year to July or August of next year. So all in all, we have, I didn't count them up beforehand, but we've got a bunch of sites in Missoula, Hamilton, Lame Deer, Helena, Bozeman, Poplar, Kalispell, Butte, Pablo, Polson, Libby, Glendive, Browning, and Troy, all over the state. We're really pleased with the diversity of our sites. So thank you all for choosing Montana Campus Compact and VISTA to help get things done in your organization. So let's just open it up. If you all can just say your name, who you're with, what organization you work for, and where you're located, that would be really wonderful.
I'm Tamar Stanley. I'm the executive director at the Ravalli County Museum in Hamilton, and we're fortunate enough to have Lainey coming on board.
Great. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This is Mary Stein at Montana State University in Bozeman. I'm working with a campus food pantry project, and we have Aubrey Pierce coming on.
Thank you, Mary.
This is Suzanne Stefanik. I'm with Butte America Foundation in Butte. And we have Daniel Hogan coming on board this coming week. We're all ready for him.
Wonderful. Thanks, Suzanne.
I'm Jonathan Richter.
Good morning.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jonathan. I don't know who I'm using.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm Jonathan Richter. I'm the executive director and media design department chair at Salish Kootenai College, running the Flathead Tech for Good initiative. And Avery Wilson is going to be joining us for this year.
Great. Thanks, Jonathan.
Good morning. This is Dale Dakota. I'm sitting in for Kenneth Smoker for the Health Promotion Disease Prevention Program at the Assiniboine Sioux Reservation.
Great. Thank you, Dale.
Hi, this is Allie Smith, and I am here for Ann Racine. And we are at the Blackfeet Community College in Student Services, and we will be welcoming Michelle next month.
Wonderful. Thanks, Allie. That may have been everyone on here. Okay, great. Well, thank you all for the introductions. And it looks like all of you who are on this call have solidified VISTAs. We've got some other sites that we're still working on solidifying August VISTAs for, but we're hard at work, and I don't think anyone else, I think everyone here has a VISTA, so congrats. Great, so this webinar is really going to be an overview of what VISTA is, who Montana Campus Compact are, where you fit in the bigger picture of VISTA, some of our program essentials that'll help guide you in this coming year, as well as orienting your VISTA and the various trainings that are going on in the first few weeks of your VISTA's term. A lot of this information will be a repeat from webinars that we've held with Montana Campus Compact, and then the state office just led a webinar June 30th, I believe, sometime earlier in June. but many of you were not there, and we figure that it doesn't hurt to kind of hammer in some of these really important points, because we want to ensure that this year is successful, and it requires definitely a lot of work on your part, hopefully not so much as we get rolling, but there's some really important tips and reminders and just programmatic kind of essential pieces of our programming, again, will really help you in this next year. So we're going to get started here.
All right. So some of you, if you're new to hosting a VISTA, might be wondering, or for those of you who have been around before, you might just need a quick refresher. What is Montana Campus Compact? How does VISTA fit into the mix? So just for a quick definition of MCCC, we are a statewide coalition of college and university presidents committed to addressing community needs through the resources of higher education. Montana Campus Compact is one of 35 state affiliates of our National Campus Compact, which is a coalition of 1,100 colleges and universities nationwide. And nationwide, Campus Compact represents over 6 million students. So it's a big organization. And one of the many things that our office does to realize these goals of addressing community needs, educating students for civic responsibility, is administering these VISTA projects. So TCC VISTA members are placed in community organizations, public agencies, college campuses around the state to create and expand programs that build capacity, ultimately with the goal of bringing low-income individuals and communities out of poverty.
Awesome. Thanks, Melissa. So here's a little bit of a flow chart, and for those of you who are in the state office training that was led by the Corporation for National Community Service state officers. So they fall within, I don't know if people can see my mouse, but you see the state office kind of below the, and if you follow the path down, that blue house, basically. So the Corporation for National Community Service administers AmeriCorps grants. AmeriCorps is a federal program. There's Senior Corps, AmeriCorps, and then the Social Innovation Fund. We fall within the AmeriCorps umbrella. So VISTA is the anti-poverty program of AmeriCorps. And our state office, or our Montana state office, helps, basically receives funding from the government and then disperses that funding around the state. And if you look to the right, around the red circle, this is kind of where we're concerned with. This is really the part that matters. So sponsoring organizations. The green house there, bless you, is intermediary. So that's us, Montana Campus Compact. We're a VISTA intermediary. So we apply for funding through the state office, and that allows us to administer the statewide VISTA grant. So those purple-ish boxes beneath the green, or houses beneath the greenhouse there, VISTA sub-sites, we call it those host sites. So that's you all, that's you and your organization are hosting a VISTA. The sub-site supervisors, we call you supervisors. Those are those orange folks right there. And then VISTA members. So those are your VISTA members that are coming on next week or next month. We also have in this flow chart that's not displayed is a VISTA leader. And they're within that greenhouse. So they're housed within Montana Campus Compact. And they're a mentor and a liaison for our VISTA members serving around the state. So this is to say really that we want to honor this chain of command. So your VISTAs will really be going through the VISTA leader and also you, and then up to us. So you will really never be contacting the state office directly. All of your questions, all of your feedback will be going to Montana Campus Compact, and we'll move it up the chain as applicable. Just feel free to interrupt us at any time with questions too. So this is a very rudimentary sort of flow chart, really to show that kind of what communication looks like. So I mentioned there's a VISTA leader. So now we see them right here in this, to the bottom left here. So this is to say that as a VISTA program manager, that's me. I will primarily communicate with the VISTA leader, who will then communicate with your VISTA, and I'll primarily communicate with you. So you'll primarily communicate with me or your VISTA, the VISTA leader to the VISTA. Hopefully this makes sense, but it's kind of to show this flow chart of you won't really be contacting our VISTA leader won't really be contacting you. I'll be your main contact. Your VISTA main contact will be the VISTA leader. That's their role, is to support your VISTA. Okay, we're going to keep moving.
All right. Give you guys a quick overview here of Montana Campus Compact VISTA. Our overarching goal with all of these host sites is to help alleviate poverty in a community. And your members do serve full-time to that end. So that's just really to say this is not, a typical 9-to-5 job. Generally, we have sort of a general expectation that VISTAs are working an average of 40 hours a week. But it is, they are in service 24/7. So if you have weekend activities, evening events, things that need to be done outside of that regular 9-to-5 schedule, please know that that's what your VISTA is there for. They are there to serve full-time for the period of a year. So keep that in mind. That'll definitely be helpful to you. Our host sites, so you all will provide the day-to-day supervision, provide supplies and equipment to your VISTA. MTCC is here to provide guidance and support, answer questions, but sort of those day-to-day tasks and necessities, that'll all be handled in-house at your particular host site. Each project should focus on building capacity and indirect service and align with one of our 2 program priorities, either education, being K-12 or college access success, or veteran services. And the service terms are outlined here. Your VISTA will either start next week or next month at the end of August, and will go for a full year-long term. Now, it's important to note that the first 3 days of those service terms, your VISTA will be with us in Helena doing their base training. So their first day with you will either be next Thursday, the 27th, or Thursday, August 31st. Just a little note at the bottom about cost share. This is how much it costs to host a VISTA. If you are an affiliate of Montana Campus Compact, it's a little over $6,000. If you're not an affiliate of Montana Campus Compact, a little over $8,000 per member.
Great. And our admin associate, Kathy Peters, will be in touch with you all about billing either quarterly or upfront, whatever you selected in your host site application. Oh, another thing I wanted to point out here is that, so we expect host sites to provide day-to-day supervision and supplies and equipment, but we also should say that for our in-person trainings, which we host quarterly trainings for our VISTAs, we provide reimbursement or gas mileage reimbursement or carpooling for your VISTA, depending on where they're located, and then also lodging and food for the duration of those trainings and events. Okay, let's keep going. So we put a slide in here about campus community partnerships. This is vital to our mission of Montana Campus Compact. We're an affiliation of colleges and universities around the state. So we, of course, want to honor those affiliations and those partnerships that we have. So we have all of our VISTA projects are based in either nonprofit organizations, high schools, or colleges. And we expect our organization-based VISTA projects to partner with their local campus. And that's really to utilize the resources of higher education to help bring people out of poverty. It's to engage students in service, and it's to utilize really to leverage resources within those college campuses to benefit communities. And we expect projects based on college campuses to partner in the community as well. There's just information sharing and et cetera throughout. So this is something that is going to be a focus of the first couple weeks of training, and definitely throughout the VISTA service, is to be meeting with that campus partner. You specified a campus partner in your application to us, and we expect you to honor that partnership and for your VISTA to be meeting that partner regularly and to be utilizing them. And we can certainly help with how that might look, and we hopefully already have in your application, since that was a vital component of your application too.
Okay, let's talk quickly about the VISTA assignment description, or the VAD as you might know it. The VAD is going to be vitally important to your year with your VISTA. It's essentially a roadmap of what your VISTA will be doing for the year. So it's a position description. It outlines in detail what the VISTA's role is, their overarching goal for their service, specific objectives and activities for their service year, and it includes the specific performance measures that are outlined by the by CMCS, by the Corporation for National Community Service, that your VISTA will need to report on in their monthly report. So super important for you and for your VISTA to get to know the VAD. It will be emailed to you. You'll have a copy of it. It will also be in your VISTA's member binder that they will receive at their base training in Helena. So they should show up to your site for their first day of service with the member binder, and it'll be really important in the first few days and weeks of your VISTA service to really get to know that VAD and use it to create work plans.
Great. Okay, so just a few pieces of compliance. Really, we don't have a whole lot of requirements from you. We like to think so anyway. A lot of them are repetitive. So from your VISTA member, we will expect monthly reports and monthly work plans. These are going to be emailed out by our VISTA leader. Her name is Carly. She served at Poplar with Fort Peck Community College and Poplar Schools for 1 year, and now she's joining us in our office. So she'll be prompting your VISTAs every month to complete a monthly report and also a monthly work plan. We're going to get into specifics a little bit. There's also an expectation that VISTAs will complete an activity log, which again, we'll get into some specifics. We're just kind of going over the basics. From you, we expect really for you to sign those activity logs on a monthly basis, to review those reports and work plans, and to submit VISTA personal and medical days on a monthly Google form. So basically all the things that we're looking for you're going to be prompted by either our admin associate or our VISTA leader for these important pieces that are every month. At the end of the year, so by June of next year and in July of next year, really, we're going to be asking your VISTA to complete a year-end impact report or end-of-term impact report. That'll help us just be a synopsis of all the good work that they've put in to your site, and we just ask you to review that and contribute to it as well. So not a whole lot, just some basic things every month that we require mostly from your VISTA. We'll also be visiting you twice a year. One of our favorite pieces of our programming in this compliance is that we get to travel around the state and visit all our amazing VISTAs and see the great work that they do. And we'll contact you in advance to figure out a time that works for you, your VISTA, and your campus partner, if that's applicable. And that'll be this fall and next spring. So now to get into a little bit more of those compliance pieces. So the monthly report, it'll be a Google form that'll be sent again to your VISTA every month. There's also a kind of a rubric of sorts that we will send. It'll be part of your VISTA's member binder. It'll also be available to them on a Google Drive that we create for VISTA for their online resources. And this should look familiar, maybe not this format, but this was taken from your host site application. So these are performance measures that you selected of the list that we provided, well, the government provided, and then the targets that you selected, as well as the data collection method. So this is just a helpful tool for your VISTA, and hope we ask that you review this with your VISTA in those first few weeks, orienting them to your project so they understand what they're going to be reporting on every month. The monthly reports are a whole slew of questions that may or may not be entirely relevant. We just ask them because we have to. And some of them, again, will apply, some of them may not. But these ones will definitely apply, and these will be on the top of the report, are the performance measures that you selected, the targets that you selected. And then again, this will help orient, the data collection method will help orient your VISTA to what does this mean, how am I going to get there, basically. Okay.
All right, so work plans and goals. As Erin mentioned, your VISTA should be creating a monthly work plan, and this is really intended to break that VAD down into workable chunks for each month. So we like to recommend in making work plans that the VISTAs utilize SMART goals, SMART being specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely goals. So you can see a little breakdown of what a SMART goal looks like, and we'll send you these slides afterwards, so you'll have access to that little infographic there. And really your role in this will just be reviewing the work plan with your VISTA. They may need, the first couple of months, they might need a little more guidance in helping them to create those goals, make sure that they are SMART goals. And once you've reviewed that work plan, it will get submitted to the VISTA leader. The VISTA leader can also help your VISTA making sure that their work plans are containing the right information, that they're staying on track. The VAD will be very helpful in creating those, as it already gives them a timeline of when to address what.
Great. And I will also say that in the first few, well, definitely the first month or two, we expect that the work plan may deviate from the VAD a little bit in terms of meet this community partner, go to this community event. We definitely expect, most of these VISTAs are coming from out of state. They have never been to your community before, so we love to see VISTAs, we love to see you helping your VISTA integrate into the local community. So again, that first month work plan can have some seemingly erroneous pieces on it, but that tells us that you're really helping your VISTA integrate into the community. So here are those daily activity logs. These are going to be provided to your member in their member binder that they received at the first few days of training with us. And this may be confusing to you because we just said, like, wait a minute, we don't collect hours for our VISTAs. That's correct. This will stay on site, and we're really sorry, but it has to stay with you for up to 7 years. Just for government purposes of compliance, we need to be visually showing the proof that a VISTA was housed at your site. So sorry about that. But this is a chance for VISTAs to log their hours. But again, we're not collecting it. It's really, it should be a tool for you to see, to gauge or assess if your VISTA is serving way over 40 or under 40. It'll hopefully just help regulate how many hours of service they're contributing. It's more for your purposes and again, stays in-house. It also can help with the VISTA, their monthly reporting if they're kind of showing what activities they're doing that may help when they have that monthly report to refer to this guide. They also track their personal and medical leave hours here. And you as a supervisor, you must sign, there's a line at the bottom of the sheet, you must sign off on this every month. This is something we'll be checking in on or trying to remember to check in on at those biannual site visits, just to make sure that you and your VISTA are completing this.
Okay, so Erin mentioned tracking personal and medical leave days. VISTAs get 10 personal leave days and 10 medical leave days during their 12-month term of service. They can apply for 1 week of emergency leave if there's a death or critical illness in their immediate family. And in that case, CNCS will pay for their round-trip transportation. So make sure if anything happens and your VISTA needs to utilize that resource, that they understand there are some monetary resources available for them to do that. In terms of national holidays, it's purely host site based. So whatever holidays your host site observes, those will be the holidays that the VISTA can take advantage of. So if you, in your office, if you get, the day after Thanksgiving off, and that's also going to be a holiday for your VISTA, that's great. If that's not the case in your office, that's also great. And it's really, just your responsibility as a host site supervisor to help your VISTA follow these guidelines and make sure, you're helping them if they're, 3-4 months into service and they've already used up more than half of their leave days. You check in with them about their plans to take leave for the rest of the year, that kind of thing. And we will be collecting these dates from you on a monthly basis.
Oh, yes.
Slide. So this is the Google form that will be sent to you, the host site supervisors, by the VISTA leader each month. It's due on the 10th of each month for the previous month. And it asks just very basic questions: the month, your VISTA's name, and how many days they took that month. Okay.
So VISTA can seek outside employment and also educational opportunities, as long as it's not full-time, as long as it does not conflict with member service. So really, VISTA must prioritize their service above employment or education. We have some VISTAs coming on this year who are enrolled in online master's degrees, and that's And that's okay, again, as long as it doesn't conflict with service. So if you're noticing that, gosh, my Vista is leaving early, or feel like she's, completing her assignments here, he is completing her assignments during service, talk to me about that. We'll help you figure out a conversation with your Vista. Again, really that's the big thing. It has to be approved. So there's forms that Vista will fill out. It'll be approved by you and by Montana Campus Compact and then passed up the chain. That's just a little bit about that.
All right. So since we are federally funded, right, there are some things that we just can't do with federal money. So we just want to draw your attention to some prohibited activities for your Vista, things that they will not be able to engage in during their year of service while they're serving, right? On their own time, they can do what they want to do, but while they are serving with you, these are the activities they can't engage in. So no political engagement, religious activities, union organizing, providing abortion services or referral, alcohol consumption, or safety risk. And it's important to note here, particularly draw your attention to the alcohol consumption line. Obviously, we recognize that these folks are adults, and again, while they are not in service, they may do whatever they would like to do, but if they are in service or currently representing Vista, like maybe wearing their Vista t-shirt, for example, or their pin, they should not be engaging in any of these activities. So that'll be something that we'll go over in their training and that you can help them remember that it's not just, while they're on the clock, but also while they are wearing their Vista garb.
Great. Okay, so we're going to kind of move into orienting your Vista and these first few weeks with your Vista. So there's lots of ways that you can help your Vista member orient to your project, to your host site, your organization, and to your community. These are some eligible things for it's a federal program, so there are some rules. Again, there's lots of prohibitions. There cannot be a direct transfer of money to your Vista. So if you're helping with housing, we ask that you pay the landlord rather than going right through the Vista. There are gifts of food and other gifts that you can take your Vista out to lunch or to dinner. That's acceptable. Gift cards, less acceptable. We're not going to harp you on this stuff, but again, there are these rules and regulations, so we ask that you do follow them. We will provide a Vista t-shirt and a sweatshirt later on down the line, but in their orientation, they will receive a Montana Campus Compact Vista t-shirt from us. If you have any other clothing or apparel with your agency logos on it, that's great. You can definitely provide that for them. Even better if you get Vista. What's the word I'm looking for? Embroidered, thank you, on them. We don't expect that though. And providing recognition, so introducing your Vista to your staff. Hey, this is our new Vista member, or what we really love is for you to say this is our Montana Campus Compact Vista member. It's not a Vista employee, it's not a Vista volunteer, Vista member. We ask you to please consider utilizing the correct terms here. So Vista stands for Volunteer in Service to America. Just a side note. So anyway, we definitely encourage you to help your Vista in whatever way. But they signed up to live in poverty, so they understand that that's a commitment that they're making. But any ways that we can help them out, whether that's verbally or through some gifts every now and then, if you can, that's great.
All right. So this next piece is crucially important. Your Vistas will have sort of 3 concurrent and very important trainings happening as they're starting their service. There will be some overlap in the dates of these trainings, so really important to help them manage their time and attend to all of these training pieces so that they can remain eligible to serve. The first piece will be our MTCC base training, or Building Active Service Ethics training, and that will happen the first 3 days of service in Helena. We'll have your Vistas for those 3 days. We've got a packed agenda full of some really great sessions and activities for them to participate in. They will get sworn into their service at that time. And while this is happening, and there will even be a little bit of pre-work before it happens. They will also be participating in their PSO or pre-service orientation blend. That's online. We'll get into more details about that here in a moment. They'll need to be completing those two things at the same time. And then once BASE is over, they'll need to be completing the PSO blend and the on-site orientation at the same time. That on-site orientation, again, we'll talk about it a little more here shortly, but that is the orientation that your VISTA will do with you at the host site.
Great. And you all should have received, I believe I emailed that out at the end of, not January, the end of June, with a, it's basically a, it should have been, I believe, a PDF, just kind of with the first 3 weeks of service. So if you did not receive that via email, let me know, because we will, can resend that also. But that's going to outline, and maybe hopefully some of you have already looked at that, outline the first few weeks of service. Okay, so a bit about PSO Blend. Again, this is the, so BASE, as we were explaining, that's Montana Campus Compact training. PSO Blend is because it's a federal program. This is the federal training for all VISTA serving all around the country. Our members will be engaged in a blend that there will be VISTAs from all around the country in that blend. So it's an online training. It really, an employee's distance learning and field work to introduce VISTA members to the terms, conditions, and benefits of service and key programming principles at the start of their service. So it's a combination of a few webinars as well as on-site learning at service sites. So there's basically classroom tutorials and worksheets that VISTAs will be completing throughout their first 3 weeks of service. And again, it's going to start that first day of their service, so during BASE training, and carry on for 3 weeks beyond that. So I believe you all should have received an email, not from me, but from someone within the PSO blend. I can't remember who that was, but all supervisors who have placed VISTAs should have received an email detailing basically how to prep for this training. So just to reiterate some important points, before the VISTA's arrival, we ask that you ensure the necessary equipment. So you need a phone, computer, and internet. It'd be great if you could test the webinar, and there's a link to it right there. It should also be in that email. Upon the VISTA's arrival, we hope that you begin your on-site orientation training concurrent with the PSO blend. So again, lots of things happening at once here. And we hope that you support your VISTA in attending those mandatory webinars and those mandatory virtual meetups and those mandatory assignments. A VISTA will have to terminate service if they don't complete those assignments. We know it's a lot. We're going to detail it in a year-long calendar that we'll provide to your VISTA as well as to you to really help make sure that those VISTAs are not meeting those. We know that you likely, with the on-site orientation training plan, have lots of meetings going on in your community and within your organization. Again, we require you to prioritize that your VISTA successfully completes this PSO blend, because they won't be able to complete their service if they don't. So thank you. Here's some dates. This will again be in that calendar that we provide for you. So importantly, that you'll notice that Monday and Wednesday, and this is for the July VISTA, these are going to be similar timelines for the August class. And so similarly with the July class and the August class, the first 2 webinars are going to be during our BASE training. So your VISTA will be completing those trainings with all of the VISTAs, all of our VISTAs starting in the July and August classes. So we'll have the webinar set up. They'll be able to view and participate in the webinar together. The remaining virtual meetups, classroom time, worksheets, etc., will be done on their own time. And those are going to be, again, after those first few days. Okay. If you also notice, if you look through that email thoroughly, congratulations if you did. There's a few things that it mentions for to help more prep for your VISTA. Is that your VISTA will need to complete their fingerprints. So go get fingerprints and then mail them to the Corporation for National Community Service, as well as that they need to sign an oath of service that also needs to be sent in to the corporation. We're going to do that during BASE training, so don't worry about that. Your VISTA will get their fingerprints done, and we'll also sign that oath form. They'll swear in during our BASE training, and we'll sign that form on that day with us. So those are 2 things that you don't need to worry about that are mentioned in that email.
Great. All right. So this next piece you will need to worry about, the on-site orientation and training, or OSAT as we call it. And this is that training that you will complete during the first 3 weeks of your VISTA service with your VISTA. And it's really a 3-part orientation, orienting your VISTA first to you, the supervisor, second to the site staff, and third to your community. So we really want to make sure through the on-site orientation and training that we're establishing effective working relationships between the VISTA and those 3 groups of folks. Week 1 is all about getting to know the organization and the community. Week 2, getting to know the community, the project, the campus partner. Week 3, that's when we start work plan development and really get down to brass tacks.
Great. Okay, I think this is me. So we love supervisors who are engaged. So our strongest sites, our strongest projects, our strongest VISTAs have supervisors who take responsibility for the VISTA project, communicate regularly, that's with our office and also with your VISTA, and take time to meet. We love when VISTA supervisors are able to meet weekly with their VISTA. We know that that can be hard, but at least some sort of regular check-ins and regular meetings really help ground the VISTA and let them know that they do have support within you. We love to see supervisors who invest in the VISTA's professional development. Many of our VISTAs are right out of college. A lot of them have great skills. Some of them have skills that they're working on. The good news is that these folks are malleable beings. They're going to be eager to jump in, dive in, to learn a whole lot of new skills with you. That's a great opportunity for you to be a professional mentor and to aid in their professional development, especially in the front end. Hopefully, by month 3, 4, 5, VISTA is going to be finding their groove and then start, to hit the ground running through the rest of their term. But we expect in the first few months that we don't want to call it hand-holding, but especially if a VISTA is new to your community, new to being in a nonprofit or into a college or a high school, there's definitely you're gonna have to spend some extra time with them to help integrate them and get them rolling. And we also love when VISTAs appreciate the purpose of VISTA, to understand what VISTA is all about and what we in Montana Campus Compact hope to accomplish through these VISTA projects.
Great. So just some more best practices here for supervising your VISTA. You can expect for about 5 to 10% per week of your time to go towards supervising and mentoring, guiding your VISTA. As Erin mentioned, that might be a little more towards the front end in those first couple of months of service, and then it'll taper off, as you get going, but typically about 5 to 10% of your time per week. Please do help your members assimilate into the community and the work environment. As Erin mentioned before, take them to community events, really make them feel like they're a part of the team. Treat them as members of your staff. We have staff meetings, that type of thing. We would love for them to be a part of that. And do realize, as Erin mentioned, that your member may require some professional guidance, but that they are very excited to serve and are really excited about their project. So, just be available to them and ready to guide them and treat them as part of your staff. And we won't go into this now, but when we send you the slides, feel free to click on this nationalservice.gov link, and there's a quick little quiz to fill out that will tell you a little bit more about your supervision style. If you typically don't supervise others, or maybe you do, but you just think it would be nice to get some more insight into who you are as a supervisor, this is a great resource for you.
Great. And we've said this all a little bit before, but just to hammer it in, we see VISTA as a two-sided coin. So first and foremost, VISTA is there in your organization to get things done. The motto of VISTA is to get things done for America, and we take that seriously. So we definitely have high expectations for your VISTA to come in and build capacity and grow your organization to better serve those living in poverty. The other side that we don't maybe talk about as much, but we really value, is this professional development piece. So, and that looks like helping with the immersion into your community, as we've been talking about, into your culture, into your workplace, and guiding them professionally, being a bit of a mentor. The overall goal that we see is to spark a desire to engage in local communities and to continue to prioritize service and future endeavors. So we're really hoping to grow engaged citizens. That's part of our mission. and which we accomplished through VISTA as well.
Okay, so this is going to be a really helpful resource to you and to your VISTA. It's an online resource called VISTA Campus. You can see the link there in orange. And we don't create these materials. These materials are created by the federal government. They're super helpful. It's nice to know not only what is expected of you by MTCC, but what's expected of you as a supervisor and of your member by VISTA nationally. So on there, you'll find the supervisor manual, the member handbook, and there are some really great free webinars. There's one coming up that we absolutely recommend. It's on July 25th, so nobody will have their VISTAs yet, and it'll be the perfect time to get to know more about the VAD before your VISTAs show up. You can go to that vistacampus.gov link and register for that free webinar. It's happening on July 25th at 1 p.m., The Importance of the VAD in VISTA Projects. We encourage you to check that out and see what else is available to you on VISTA Campus.
Awesome. Thanks, Lisa. So we're wrapping up here. We've just got 2 more slides. We just want to close first by kind of asking all of you, if you're paying attention out there, thank you all for bearing with us through this webinar, is how will you orient your VISTA to your community, to your organization, and to your project? So I've muted everyone. If people want to unmute yourselves or put in the chat box just what you're thinking. How are these first few weeks going to go? Kind of beyond or considering the on-site orientation training plan. How do you intend to show and to introduce your VISTA to your community? If anyone has any ideas, we'd love to hear them.
This is Jacob, superintendent in Troy, and we had Haley come in yesterday, and we sat down with her, took her on a tour, and had lunch with her with a group of people, and we're excited to have her in Troy and think that she'll be a great fit.
Awesome. Yay, that's great. Thanks, Jacob.
This is Suzanne Stefanik in Butte with Banff, and we have the advantage of having a radio station that we can use to help tell our community what Daniel's up to and why we're so proud of him and so happy to have him on board, and to, start building the lines of communication so he can really be as effective as possible.
Great, wonderful. And Banff is a really unique example. Daniel has actually served as a volunteer with Banff in Butte, and now he's coming on as a VISTA, so kind of stepping up his volunteer game. So that's really wonderful.
We couldn't be happier. He is such a remarkable young guy.
Awesome. So happy to hear it. Excuse me.
Hi, this is Mary in Bozeman. I feel as though we're pretty fortunate that at the end of the summer here, or I guess it's not quite the end of the summer, but the beginning of the next academic year is an opportunity to meet with all sorts of different groups around campus. And my plan is to have Aubrey join me in meetings with community partners, meetings with faculty on campus, other partners who are part of the work that's been done so far on the campus food pantry project. So it's a really good time for getting all of those introductions done and connecting her to the wider community.
Wonderful. Thanks, Mary.
So Avery is going to be joining us on the Flathead reservation. We're going to be driving from Missoula pretty frequently. He's actually going to be starting in Missoula and just kind of getting to know people around the reservation by physically driving around and meeting different people. We've got something called a gather board, which is a way for us to showcase events and activities going on across the reservation. And Avery and I are going to be kind of kicking that off as a project for Flathead Tech for Good. And so we're going to be trying to add value right away to people across the reservation. And we'll get to know people by introducing this new sort of website place for us to collect these things. And then shortly before school starts, we're going to be locating him up there, and hopefully we'll know all kinds of people that Avery doesn't know yet, and even me. And so that's one way.
Great, thank you.
Thanks. Well, that's a great start. If anyone else wants to chime in, go for it. So we'll move on. So thanks everyone for sharing. Hopefully we all can be learning from each other and sharing with each other too, giving each other ideas about how to introduce our vistas to our communities.
Great, awesome. So aside from integrating your vista into your community, providing some initial mentorship, one of the great things that you can do for your vista and for vista nationally throughout their service is to highlight and acknowledge the great work that they are doing. So please share your great stories and photos of your vistas doing all of that great work. Share those stories and photos with us. We'll put them on our social media, newsletters, press release, our blogs, and you can do the same with your own social media outlets, your own websites, newsletters. Send stories and photos to your local press, and we can all be involved in sharing those stories. It's not only just a really nice thing to do to honor your VISTA's work, but it's crucially important to our continued funding. I think we can all acknowledge that we live in a time of economic unrest for social services, and funding for national community service is not safe in perpetuity. So we do request that you do what you can to help us highlight and acknowledge that our VISTA members are getting things done for America, so that we can pass that up the chain and continue to provide these services.
Great. So on that note, we're going to wrap it up. First with some timeline, or a couple, first few, whoa, geez, okay. Let me start that over. So this is the timeline of your first few weeks with your VISTA. So again, BASE comes first. That's the first few days of your member's service. That's either July 24th to 26th or August 28th to 30th. The first day at your site, as Alyssa mentioned before, is the following day, so July 27th or August 31st. PSO Blend kicks off on that first day of service and goes for 3 more weeks, or for 3 weeks total. I will also be chatting with you all in your first few weeks. I think around the 3rd week of your member service, so that'll be mid-August or mid-September. We'll call in. I'll just have a list of check-in questions for you. It's a great time to bring questions to me too, and we can brainstorm solutions. Our VISTA leader will also be conducting a similar call with your VISTA members during their first few weeks of service as well. Our VISTA leader also hosts monthly webinar calls for your VISTAs. Well, the first one will probably ask you all to join in so that you can all get a sense of who else is in the room and around the state. And that first call will be for our July class, will be August 17th. And the first one that the August class will be a part of will be September 21st. We also have a training series called Community Building Institute, which is an online training that's open to VISTA members around VISTA and AmeriCorps members around the state and also around the country. Can you provide a synopsis of that training, or you're still learning? Alyssa's new to the job.
I am new. So Community Building Institute that's my bag. That's all me. I've got to put that together. So I'm in the process of learning what that's all about and putting it together right now. There will be sort of one online webinar per week for 6 weeks. It'll start mid-September to late October, and it talks all about the community building life cycle, and maybe you can jump in and help me a little bit.
Yeah. So I think it's mapping out community resources, how to build stakeholder groups, how to utilize social media to your advantage, how to recruit and manage and appreciate volunteers, and also how to evaluate programs. So lots of some good components to building sustainability in an organization. Thanks, Alyssa. And then we'll conduct site visits in October and November. We also have another training in person in October, but we'll provide all those details on a calendar that we'll email out to you by the end of the week, and we'll definitely provide to your VISTA the first day of service. Okay, that is it. Thank you all for your time. Any questions? We'd love to hear them. If you've got to run, that's fine too, but we'll stick around for a couple minutes. And well, I think you all can unmute yourself, but we'll be here if people have questions for us. If not, have a great day and good luck with your VISTA.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.